Hello, I'm Joyce from Salubrious Events, and I have here with me Johan and Karen from Sarvaga Light, and they are both Ghostbusters, and they do house clearings amongst many things, including Reiki. But anyway, today we are going to talk about the nature of ghosts and what are they exactly. So I'm going to ask the first question, Johan.
Yes, Joy. Hello.
Or Karen. What exactly is a ghost?
Well, for me, it's the spirit or the soul of a person that's passed. So I see it as energy, and I feel it and I sense it, and then I'll just pass messages on from that person. So that's my task. Yeah.
So a person that has passed?
That's pretty much it, Joy. When the physical body stops, energy cannot be created or destroyed. So the energy of that person actually has to move somewhere. Now, for whatever reason, if they are not ready to move on to what some people may call the light or the higher self or wherever that might be, or even home, the spirit gets locked between those worlds and it may still have some unfinished business. So it might hang around for a little while and in serious cases may actually create disturbances like moving things around, creating sickness within the family, a dark energy in the house, whatever that might be. So everybody may have different interpretations of what they are, but they leave the physical body and then the actual soul or spirit of that body hangs around until whatever job needs to be done is resolved.
Okay, so it's unfinished business?
Yeah, it can be, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of the time they might even just want to hang around and see what's going on, have a bit of fun. Some can be mischievous, not nasty, but there can be nasty ones as well, of course, which you do see from time to time. But yeah, that's my interpretation of what I believe them to be.
Okay. Do you think they know they're dead?
Some might.
Yeah, I think some might know that things, especially, I mean, the world at the moment is in a little bit of turmoil, and people who unfortunately take their own life, my gut feeling is when they've gone ahead and done that, they might go, whoops, what have I done? And they may actually then see the end result. And a lot of this was sort of shown in the movie Ghost way back in the 80s, where Patrick Swayze was sort of taken and things sort of happened and they were caught between one world and the other. And then they realised what had happened and went, there's my physical body, what's this still doing here? This is confusing. So it may create a little drama for them, but once they come to terms with it, I think they realised, well, the other side's probably a little bit better than the current reality that I was living. So it might be a positive for them, but I think 9 times out of 10, if somebody takes their own life, they're probably thinking, oh dear.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do they do after that? Once they think, oh dear, I can't reverse it.
Well, not a lot. Not a lot, really. Now, sometimes what may happen is called like a divine intervention. If, for whatever reason, their purpose for not being here, for them in the physical world, becomes stronger in the spiritual world and the powers that be will say, hey, it's not your time yet, an intervention will happen. So somebody might come in and get them soon enough. They may have passed, but they bring them back to life. So the paramedics might turn up and jumpstart them, or somebody might find them in the ocean and give them mouth to mouth and bring them back to life. And this is where some people start to experience those out-of-body near-death experiences. I crossed over, I saw something, I got a message, now I'm back, and it generally changes their life. So they go, right, I know I experienced this. People might not believe me, but what I'm doing is what I need to do. I'm going to either become a healer or a counsellor or whatever and try and help more people stop themselves from taking their life. So there's a fine line between, I mean, we all know physically, we've got 3 minutes. We stop breathing. If our breathing isn't back again to normal within 3 minutes, everything stops. So if an intervention happens before then, we've got a second chance.
And they come back with more like a vigour or
I think so. Absolutely. A more zest for life, going, okay, well, this is what's happened to me. How can I now put it in a place of service to keep on serving humanity to stop them from feeling how I felt? And you find a lot of bullies in the past who have actually experienced that in their life usually become the best teachers and the best counsellors.
Okay.
Because they're talking from truth. They know what it's like to be ridiculed and pushed around and probably come to near-death experiences.
Yes.
And they go, right, I'm now going to place myself in a place of service to help everyone else.
Okay. Yeah.
But then still go broke.
And still go broke. Yes. Not much money.
No, well, you're not.
You're
never going to become a millionaire being a healer. I can tell you that right now. It's a very. You do it because you love doing it.
Yes.
You do it because you want people to live a happier life. You're not doing it because you want a mansion on the river, because that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Your journey as a healer is there to serve.
Yeah.
As well as spiritual counsellors as we are, and helping the spirit world. A lot of the spirits sort of move on to a happier place.
Yes.
As well as the people living in the physical world still staying here to go, hey, I want to live in a comfy house. I don't want somebody coming on and touch me on the forehead halfway through the night. I'm thinking, well, what's that?
Yeah.
So you've got to sort of respect both realms.
Yes.
As much as we can.
Yes, because they interact with us quite often anyway. Like, they're all around us. That's what I'm getting, from talking to people like you too.
Yeah.
And have you had any examples, or have you had to deal with any spirits that had committed suicide in the past?
We did. One of our main ones we did was when one of the reporters came on TV, and what happened to him was he got banged in the chest, and that was all filmed. And even now, people say to us, was that an act? But it wasn't. It just happened exactly as it was. And that was on the Today Tonight programme. So there was some evidence there.
Yeah, very much so. And Karen actually sees a lot of things, more things than she sort of lets on, because it's one of those things. If you're in a mainstream environment, not everybody wants to believe this.
Yes.
Nobody understands it.
Yes.
If they do, some people might be intrigued, but they still stand back. It's the real diehard sort of paranormal people that come out and go, hey, Johan and Karen, can we learn more from you? Well, sure, you can. But then Karen also then has to be willing and wanting to do that, because there might be other factors coming in. You've got to learn to sort of switch things off and to go, okay, I'm now having dinner with friends. Bang.
Okay, right.
Stop.
Okay.
And I use this as a bit of a joke sometimes, because we both do readings. If I go to a party somewhere, the minute I turn up, I open up a can of bourbon.
Yes.
I have a quick drink.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, I've been drinking.
Okay. Oh, yes.
And my fail safe is,
yes.
So they say, oh, can you tell me some information? And I'll go, oh, we can do it as well. And then I pass it on to...
And then I say, sorry, I've had a bourbon. No, it wouldn't be true if I gave you a reading now. Because, and we do that to respect our own space, as well as know this isn't the appropriate time.
Yes.
We're here at a family gathering. You're here. Do not come over here and say, well, what can you pick up?
Yeah.
No.
And not everybody's ready to hear, or... if I'm seeing somebody at the side of them, because they still pop in sometimes.
Yeah.
If I see somebody at the side of them, not everybody's ready to hear, oh, you've got so-and-so at the side of you, and he's got this on, and he's got that, and it's your uncle, whoever.
Yes.
And it could be the wrong time, wrong place. Yeah, so you've got to be really mindful.
Yeah, great. So you got to watch your boundaries, like,
absolutely,
for your own self-care, as well as someone else, whether they're ready for it or not.
Yeah. You've got to be very careful, because if at any stage the ego creeps in with anything that you're doing, you can say something that could be derogatory, something that's wrong. You're only trying to feed yourself, going, oh, how good am I? You don't want to do that. You want to be honest and genuine, as caring as possible, because they don't know, or you don't know really, how they're feeling about the event. And the same token, you go somewhere, like I mentioned, you just want to switch off. You want to enjoy the space with everyone else. So we try and not tell anybody, especially if we go to a party where we don't know anyone. We don't tell anybody what we do.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you do? I'm a counsellor. What do you do? Oh, I'm a trainer and assessor, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And it's not until maybe somebody at some point lets the cat out of the bag saying, well, go speak to them, they'll sort you out. That they actually know what we do.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's really important. And, I think it's like, people that are doctors, if they tell people they're doctors, oh, you know, I've got this illness.
Yeah, what do you do for it? No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, go home and chop your toenail off because that will actually help.
Yeah.
You want the quiet time and the switch off time.
Yeah.
And we've had to learn that ourselves over the years. We went to a party many, many years ago where we were introduced as, these are the teachers of my meditation group, and the whole night we spent the night on our own.
Okay.
Everybody avoided us.
Oh, right.
But thinking,
one by one,
those people are weird.
They came up and sat with us, and there was asking like questions and things like this, and then by the end of it, we had the group all around us too.
Yeah. But, so it tends to be a bit. You got to be really careful what you say.
Yes.
But we had a good night.
Yeah.
It was good fun. It was good fun, but you really don't want. And let's face it, the world tries not to be, but the world is very judgmental at the moment.
Yeah.
If you don't follow this or do this or do that or whatever, you're actually sort of isolated. So, there's 7 billion people walking one way, and at the moment there's probably maybe 500,000 people walking the other. So it's a little bit...
Yeah,
it's very
still in the minority.
Absolutely.
But
very much so.
Almost every person I talk to say once they know that I'm open to hearing about ghosts and paranormal stuff, they say, hey, I've had that experience, or I've got a story, or I know someone else.
Because they don't want to be judged.
Yeah.
And the minute they start speaking to people of like mind, it gives them the green light to go, oh, well, can I tell you about my story, please? Because this is what happened to me. I woke up and there were 2 fingers up my nose, and there's a this, that, and the other. And they get quite intrigued about sharing their story about what they experienced.
Yeah.
But up until then, they just keep it real quiet because they don't want to be locked in a nice little white box.
Yes.
Or the men.
Or, hey, take these tablets, come back and see me in a few weeks, because what they've actually felt and seen is genuine. They just need to find the right people to be able to express that to you.
Yes. Okay, so you were talking about cutting off, like switching off. When you switch off, do you sometimes still sense ghosts around you? Like, say you're at a party and you're trying to switch off. Do you still sense ghosts partying?
Well, I do, and and I might see sort of like energies behind them, but because I don't want to tune into them, I might just see the shape of a man or a lady, beside somebody. But as long as I don't sort of focus on them, then they keep their boundaries. For me, anyway, that's how it works.
Okay.
So they keep their boundaries, and I can continue. But I always acknowledge them, and then just by a quick glance, and then I leave them to do their thing, and they might just be hanging around that person just for a sense of security. Depending, because I'm not tuned in, I won't even know the reason. But you can get a sense sometimes that maybe that person just has been calling them in, and they've appeared.
Okay. Have you had any pesky ghosts that just won't leave you alone and very challenging?
Me personally, I know Karen has.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, like, I would get visits at night times, but it's quieting down a lot now.
Okay.
But even like brushing on the face.
Oh yes.
There's lots of different. When you say pesky, do you mean annoying, or do you mean just sort of like trying to?
Well, we have on numerous occasions. It doesn't matter where we live. They tend to sort of follow us around anyway. But on numerous occasions, we hop into bed and we're laying there, and the next minute we feel this on the mattress. Okay. And I won't mention anything, but Karen will go, "Can you feel the mattress?" And down the end, usually around our feet, there's like a tapping, and something's there. It's tapping you. It's actually doing that. And then you can see shadows near your bed and all that sort of stuff. So. We've gotten, when we were living in Bayswater some years ago, we invited people to stay over with us, and a lot of people said, no, we're not staying here. It didn't worry us anymore.
We'd hear footsteps down the little corridor there.
Right.
Yeah.
People running across the veranda.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you hear that all the time. And there was one particular night, about 11 o'clock, I went to the gents, and as I walked up the stairs through the kitchen into the hallway just before our bedroom, there was an energy in the doorway, and just as I walked through the doorway, it stepped in, and I walked through it.
Right.
And I hopped into bed, and I went, Karen, you all right? I went, yes. I just walked through someone. And she goes, yeah, and everything, like my hair and everything was on end. And it didn't worry me per se. I didn't get scared. I just, the feeling of actually walking through them was actually quite surreal.
Okay.
But we've had numerous events like that happen.
So what did it feel like walking through them?
It was like going through when you walk through a cold mist.
Okay.
Basically what it felt like. When you sometimes at a pub you've got those really fine water mists spraying. Well, that's what it felt like, but it was over my whole body. So effectively just above my elbows, my whole torso on both sides, and that's what it felt like. And it was, didn't alarm me. I did not worry. I go, okay, that was something new. Yeah, so which we don't get troubled when we go do. I mean, at the big job we did at Wanneroo last year, we were walking around 20 acres at night time.
Right.
Didn't affect me at all. I have no issue. Nothing out there can harm me. I feel safe. You obviously protect yourself spiritually before you do it, but you just have this feeling, things aren't going to harm you.
Okay.
So you have that confidence to know, right, I know I feel safe. Yeah.
And is it because you did the protection?
You do the protection, obviously, and you make sure, but you just know that. How can I explain it? It's almost like going, okay, say you've got a ball of fire and it's consistently burning, but you've got water around it. The water gets close to it but boils before it touches the fire. That's how I sometimes feel. Something might come in, but I know I'm not going to get affected by it, whereas it might affect Karen or someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, I can, if I work on somebody who's really heavy, I can work on them, but Karen might have to wait a little while.
I wait for the people or the spirit people that I work with. I wait for them, and if they say no, don't enter, then I won't enter, and I'll let whoever else wants to deal with it. And
it's not because she can't heal them. She's quite capable of doing that.
Yeah.
It's just that they're protecting her from anything. So I'll just go in there and, like you mentioned before, I'll be the man, if you like, and go, right, I'm going to go in and protect my partner. I'm going to sort this person out until they're calmed down before she can come in. Yeah. So you
both work really well together.
Like, we do. Except in the kitchen. That doesn't work well. No. Yeah.
Who works in the kitchen?
Me, I'm the kitchen worker.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So with the ghosts, when you see them, do they appear, like, what do you think happens? Like, are they at the same age as they were when they died? Or do they project something different? Or what's your experience?
Right. Well, for me, when people come for readings or if they're asking me, for some advice, what will happen is they'll appear at the age that would resonate with that person. So then I would sometimes I'll describe the hair colour, the eyes, what they're wearing, what they were wearing when they passed, whatever information that the person that has passed, they will know it will be relevant to them, because obviously it means nothing to me because I've never met them. And most of the people that I do readings for, I've never met before either. So when they come, they're new clients, unless they've been before, and I usually say, don't come less than 3 months. So just come once a year or twice a year. So there's always a big gap. And like I say, and if they want to bring through another or a different message, they might project themselves at another age, wearing different clothes, just to get the message across.
Yeah. So it depends on what message they want to give and who to.
And when they do appear, sometimes for me to get their character as well, like if somebody's really quiet, the person will appear, and they might stand one side or the other of the person that I'm reading for, and they might not say a word. So I'm sat there like with this blank expression on my face because nothing is being said, and then it's not until I think, oh, okay, so the person that is a very quiet soul or a quiet person, and they don't say a lot, and they'll say yes, and and then they'll continue with the rest of the information that they want to know.
Okay.
And then sometimes they are yap, and then I'm passing that information on to.
Okay, so you describe what you see, like what?
Sometimes, yep. Sometimes I never know which way it's going to go, but if they appear, I'll describe them. If I sense them, I'll describe what I'm sensing. And if they give me the words, I'll tell them what they're telling me. But I have to do exactly what I say or what I see. You know, I have to pass that information as it is, because it doesn't mean anything in a way for me unless it's going to go into a healing, which then they might give me more information on the situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think ghosts need healing? Do they need counselling as well? To go back to the light. It is a light,
yeah, they do. Because a lot of people have different interpretations of what happens when you move on. I believe you go into this big room, and it's almost like a waiting room, if you like, and the healing will take place. So people who may have died from an illness, somebody who may have died from a car accident or deep trauma or heart attack or whatever it might be, they need somewhere to go. So it's like, well, hang on, where am I now? So it's almost like a debriefing room, if you like. That's my understanding of it. But while they're there, they need time to adjust. It's almost like you hopping into a hot bath. Your body's going to go, hey, that's not right, or even a cold bath. You want it to be just right so you can actually then allow the body to relax. It's the same, I believe, when you move on. You want things to be a gentle transition. Right. And sometimes the pressure might be put on mediums. Somebody passed today, somebody will turn up tomorrow for a booking. Have they come through yet? I need to ask them, how they're okay. Hang on a minute. Is this what it was like in real life? Did you put a lot of pressure on them to ask you questions and things?
Yes.
They might not be ready. They might be going, God, I'm away from all of them now. This feels great. I've got my own space. I just need to adjust again. So they do definitely need healing. And with some of the work we do healing with people who have passed to help them adjust to, I guess, their new body and their new being and everything else. So I think it's very important for spirit to actually heal and ghosts to actually be okay with what's going on.
Yes.
I think it's really important.
And then I assume after a while they'll be ready to move on to wherever we go after death, like not stay in this.
I think so.
This in between world.
Well, each one has their own agenda, I guess.
Okay.
And that's what we work with when we're sort of like communicating with them when they've passed and they maybe need to be asked to move on to a better state for them, if you like. Give them a little bit of guidance and then interact with our guides and they interact with them. But like, I guess when people come for readings as well, they always want to know about their loved ones.
Yes.
All right. And they actually say, a lot of them will say, well, are they okay? All right. Well, the feelings that I get and what I'm seeing is, yes, they're okay. And then I actually do say sometimes, because I have to say exactly what comes through, I'll say, I don't know, because I've never been there, but I can tell you what they tell me, or what they will tell Johan. And that seems to help them settle. Just knowing that they're okay. But it's the ones that are lost is where we come in and we go and help them.
Okay.
Yeah, and guide them.
Okay. Wow.
With a little bit of help, obviously, from our spirit.
The spirit guides.
Yeah, or the energy of people that we work with. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yes, there's so many questions and so much more we can cover.
The thing is that the actual spirit world and all this sort of paranormal and even healing and the understanding of everything that goes on out there, there's a lot of healers out there, a lot of different techniques, a lot of different ideals of what their interpretation is. What's really important to understand is that everybody's own interpretation is okay. It's when somebody's interpretation they believe to be the best, or this is how it is, or do it this way. That's where we start to get our wires crossed a little bit, because everything should come from a place of love and compassion and understanding.
Yes.
That is your way of doing it. Well done, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy for it. It works for you. Well done.
Yes.
This is how we do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, well, you must do this. Well, no.
Yeah.
You know, we have our own interpretation, and we wish you well with everything that you're doing.
Yes.
But this is how we do it.
Yeah.
And we do things differently too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Our readings are different. We do healings
Okay.
differently.
Yeah.
Karen says I waffle on. Maybe I do,
Okay.
but I like actually getting my message across.
Where mine just come.
Karen will just come out.
Okay.
As it is.
Karen will say, I'd like steak and veggies. I'll go, great, I'm going to make steak, I'm going to do it like this, I'm going to prep it, I'm going to do this, cook the veggies, do that, and then I'm going to make the sauce and everything. Right. So it's still the same outcome, but it's just a different way of explaining it. So, but we get a lot of, I know personally for me, I've been doing this for 17 years now, and I get a lot of personal joy out of seeing people come in who are lost or emotionally destroyed, to then walk out and go, what just happened? How could this be? I'm feeling really different. Good, excellent. I'm really happy about that. Keep me posted. I'll keep you informed over the next few weeks. And going back to the, when we move on, this room thing that we do, it's like we didn't get a choice. Okay, are we going home? Are you going to go back down and reincarnate into something else and have a different life, or are you going to go back as a human and learn something else? So we have all this different belief systems and stuff out there, but given the choice, coming back and learning something new would be fabulous. Keep on learning that same process and go, okay, well, let's do this differently. I'd like to come back as a movie star next time, or a lady, or a man, or maybe a cat.
Yeah.
Having these different interpretations of what we're able to do. But in a nutshell, Joy, everything is energy. It vibrates at a different frequency. The curtains, the wall, the floor, everything else. When that finishes or moves on, it's only merely just changing states. Same with these chairs.
Yes.
It's gone from wood to ash. It goes back to the planet. Everything coming from the planet must eventually go back, or it goes up there. We can't stop it.
Yeah.
People, we're running out of water. Well, technically we can't. It's just changing states. So either the water's physically there, or it's in the moisture, in the air. The planet hasn't actually wasted water. It's somewhere there.
Okay.
There's no tap on the side of the planet going, okay, well, there it goes, it's going into space. Nothing can leave the planet. It's all here. So we then got to think, right, if that's the case, we are in the power to actually change anything we want, including helping spirit.
Yeah.
All the time.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're all connected.
Great. We're all connected.
We're all connected.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the old Irish saying that none of us are strangers. We're all friends that haven't met yet. And it's only our ego and our religious beliefs that actually separate us. If we can go, hey, how are you? I'm great, thanks. How are you? We'd be fine. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that don't see it that way at the moment.
Yeah.
But the world is changing.
Yes. Yes.
So
it's very positive.
Yeah, it is.
Message.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. My pleasure.
Great.
I'll
Thank you.
I'll send you the bill for that.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Johan Smit and Karen Scott will be speaking at the Ghostbusters of Australia Conference on Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the 30th.
Yeah,
30th and 31st,
sorry, 30th and so 31st is Halloween.
Yep.
And so the Library of WA, please come and join us. We will be having other speakers as well on that day. And on the Friday night, on the 30th, we will have a ghost investigation with these two and another medium also joining us. So please,
it's going to be fabulous. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Look us up on Salubrious Events, or I'll put the link down below, and come join us.
Lovely.
Find out more. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Johan.
Thank you, Johan.
It's been great. It's been great having me here.
Okay.